Today's video should be a fun one. In Marvel Rivals, certain hero combinations unlock special team-up abilities, which boost their power when used together. But in this video, I'm taking a different approach. Instead of relying on the game's built-in team-up mechanics, I want to focus on pairs of heroes whose base kits naturally complement each other to create a powerful, synergistic duo. A kind of what I call unofficial team-ups. And when these heroes are used together, it's kind of a team core, because the core can help the team in different ways. Now, my friends and I have been having a blast with these pairings, and after I go through these 5, of course, share some of yours down below. I first want to start with Storm and Mantis. This is the stacking damage boost combo, and there's a lot of wild interactions that go on here. When Storm's in her Thunder Weather mode, she gains a 12% damage boost, and all allies within her Thunder Zone get a 10% damage boost as well. When she activates Goddess Boost, while in Thunder, her personal damage boost goes to 25%. And she also begins to call down lightning strikes, and I'll break those numbers down in a moment. Storm typically plays at mid-range, spreading these buffs to nearby allies. You're within her zone, you get a 10% damage boost. And that's where Mantis comes in. She's going to be staying inside Storm's Thunder Zone, taking full advantage of the stacked damage boosts going on. Because Mantis can also boost damage. With Allied Inspiration, she grants teammates a 12% damage buff for 8 seconds, and you can stack that to 16 seconds. And she can give herself a separate 12% damage boost. This matters a lot because Mantis recently got a buff to her primary fire. It now deals 55 base damage, and she can critically hit. So when you break it down, with her own buff, Mantis shots go from 55 to 61.6. You add in Storm's 10% aura from her Thunder boost, that goes to 67.76 per shot. That means with Mantis, if you land a headshot, that's 135.5 damage. And that means she can 2-tap any 250 health point hero. The total damage is 271.04, so if there's like a Luna that just gets breathed on, you're going to 2-tap them. And with Mantis, she has 0 damage fall off. No matter the distance, if Mantis hits the head, it's 135 damage. And nothing really special is going on. All she's doing is staying within Storm's aura and damage boosting herself. And I'm going to go deeper into how to land those shots in my upcoming Mantis guide. But for now, just know that Storm and Mantis together create kind of a terrifying threat, because Mantis's role is to stick close to Storm. She's going to be healing like usual, but also focusing on boosting herself, Storm, and any other allies that are within that Thunder field, because all of those buffs apply to everyone inside. The entire team can benefit. Stacking together, it's about a total of 23% more damage, because it applies one than the other. Coming back to Storm, her base projectile Windblade, it can't crit, but while in Thunder mode and getting a damage boost from Mantis, it goes to 67.76, which is great. But when she actually activates Thunder Goddess Boost and gets a damage buff from Mantis, the Windblade jumps to 77 damage, the Bolt Rush goes to 112 damage, and then the Lightning Strikes, each one is 46.2. That's a ton of pressure. There's no setup needed, they just need to be close, and both of them can just output raw damage. They just stick together. Storm just plays, does whatever she does. The job's more so for Mantis. Again, staying in that Thunder field, healing like normal, but she's going to be buffing a lot more. And Mantis is also part of another duo later on in the list. Next up is an unlikely duo, Peni Parker and Groot. These two are actually sworn enemies in most matches. Ask any Peni main who their worst counter is, and they're probably going to say Groot. And for a Groot player, they're just going to laugh. Why? Because the most important part of Penny's kit is her nest, and Groot can completely counter it and shut it down. When Groot places any wall under Penny's nest, it destroys it instantly. It's brutal. One of the most hated rivalries in the game. But what if they teamed up? Used together as a double tank core, these two can actually form one of the most frustrating defensive setups in Marvel Rivals. Groot uses his Ironwood Wall, that's the big deployable shield, but not to destroy the nest, instead protect it. Penny's going to place the nest behind the wall, using it to block key sight lines, and ultimately leaving only one angle that leads to the nest. Suddenly, the nest has cover, and enemies now have to work harder to take it out. And the Ironwood Wall recently got a small nerf, down to 600 total health points from 700, but it still offers a lot of value. While that wall's up, Groot gains 40 bonus health per second, stacking up to a bonus of 250 health as long as the wall's awakened, meaning he's near it and he or allies are dealing damage. So imagine this, Penny drops her nest directly behind Groot's Ironwood Wall. Now the goal is simple. You're creating 1, maybe 2 angles max that can lead to the nest where it can be destroyed. And to get to the nest, enemies are going to have to deal with the wall, or they're going to have to find that angle. If they flank and do get that one angle that leads to the nest, you're going to notice, and they're going to get focused down. And if it gets hectic, Penny can recall the nest, Groot can place a second regular wall for cover for the nest. Either way, the nest is going to be hard to get to. but you've created a very solid frontline foundation that's very defensive. A lot of players don't really go out of their way to destroy an off-angle ironwood wall because it's not interrupting their day. They will notice, though, that there's a nest behind it because there's webs everywhere. It kind of puts them in a weird situation. They're either going to have to focus down the ironwood wall, meaning your team can just get free damage on them as they're trying to destroy it, or they're going to try to get around it all. But the nest stays up, it lays its 10 mini mines, and he sets her traps with her larger mines, all from this little protected area. It has surprising synergy. It's definitely strongest on defense, but it can work just as well on hills or offense if you're smart about placement. Again, the key is to position the wall and nest to lock down a very high traffic choke point, leaving enemies with no clean angle to remove the nest. There's going to be one, possibly two, but you're going to notice when they try to take that angle. When it's all done right, it becomes a total nightmare for the enemy team. Next is a brutal frontline pairing, Magneto or Thing with Iron Fist. Right now, Iron Fist is one of the most powerful heroes in the game. A lot of people are getting tired of him. He has one of the highest ban rates in competitive play. And he was always solid, but recent changes kind of pushed him even more. There was a key buff that lets him deal a little bit more damage to tanks. Now, he's still a menace in the backline. He dives healers and squishies, but he's even more deadly up front. And that's where Magneto comes in. When Iron Fist pairs with a good Magneto, he can confidently kind of rotate between the backline and frontline tank busting, because Iron Fist is extremely good at tank busting. So if the Iron Fist is called to pressure the front line, the Magneto can bubble him right after his first defensive block. And this bubble is a 300 health point shield. It lasts for 2.5 seconds. And for Magneto, every 100 damage absorbed by that thing gives him a charge for his Iron Ring, kind of feeding his own damage output. And even with Magneto's changes over the past couple patches, the bubble remains one of the strongest support tools in the game, and Iron Fist is a perfect target for it. Because when you look at what's happening when you do this, let's look at the numbers. The flurry punches for Iron Fist deal 9 damage plus 2.1% of the enemy's max health per strike. So if you take like Doctor Strange, who has 700 health, each hit lands for 23.7 damage, and he lands 7 hits a second, meaning that in the 2.5 second bubble window, he lands around 17 punches, dealing 402.9 damage. Uninterrupted, because while bubbled, Strange can't shut him down. Since he's a melee character, his shield does nothing, he can't be slept by other characters, or if he's going up against Emma, he can't be chokeslammed. Just big damage. And once the bubble ends, Iron Fist makes that decision. He can keep following up, get some more strikes off, then go for another defensive block and try to finish off the tank, or he can get out. It's vicious, and Magneto is also laying down damage too. Keep that in mind. Now let's swap Magneto for Thing. Thing is a different kind of enabler because he doesn't bubble, you're going to dive together. Frontline or backline, wherever you want. Iron Fist goes in first, and the Thing follows him with the embattled leap right to him. And this leap gives them both 25% damage reduction. And when the Thing lands, if he has the ability, he's going to slam the ground with the Yancey Street charge. That slam applies a mobility lock, meaning your enemy can't escape with their movement abilities. No dashes, nothing like that. It's making an escape a lot harder. And you do it to everyone. You dive supports, you dive tanks, DPS, just locking them in place while Iron Fist and the Thing just shred them. Thing provides the disruption and damage reduction. Iron Fist is bringing the big damage and the pressure. And with good communication, you can chain dives, bubble slams, whatever, just for maximum impact. These two can take care of a problem on the enemy team. You can focus whoever you want. Get their tank out of the way. If a Moon Knight's in the back, putting a lot of pressure, the Iron Fist can get around, dive him, the Thing's there, you'll just take him out. But again, Magneto Thing with Iron Fist, it's not relying on any team-up bonuses. It's just that together, they're amplifying each other's kits. Next up is a bruiser duo that dives and peels, Hulk and Mr. Fantastic. And what you're creating here is a very mobile duo that can pressure the enemy team just as easily as it can protect its own. Mr. Fantastic got some changes. He's a fill tank, DPS Vanguard, and in-game his job is to kind of go wherever is needed. I mean, he can duel in the front line, stick to a tank, give them health, he can slow down enemies, he can protect a support, and his elongation ability is key. When he uses it on Hulk or an ally, both of you gain 75 health. When he uses it on an enemy, it deals 30 damage, but also slows them down, and it applies a slow effect. So the setup and the usage is similar to Thing and Iron Fist, but with Hulk and Fantastic, both characters are extremely hard to bring down. I mean, ask any support player how annoying a Mr. Fantastic or a Hulk is. They just refuse to go down. Most of the time, they outlast you, and together, they're a problem. I mean, Hulk has Exile, the Gamma Bubble for damage mitigation, the Clap for burst. There's the whole Mr. Fantastic kit. He can kind of go into his own Hulk mode. But I found the real power of this duo, isn't just their raw survivability, it's their flexibility. Because Hulk can leap across the map, and Mr. Fantastic can just warp directly to him using that elongation. This also makes them mobile protectors as well. Like if a diver or magic Black Panther threads the backline, Hulk can jump, throw down the Gamma Bubble immediately on the support, and Mr. Fantastic's right behind. He can go in rubber form, he can go big if he has the stacks up, maybe use the ability to grab them and pull them, or he can use elongation on them to slow them down. And it's the same kind of deal diving their backline, or maybe just diving a tank, diving a DPS. Hulk dives in, Fantastic's right behind him. He's giving Hulk health. If he did it to the enemy, he's slowing them down. As the battle goes on, Hulk can Gamma Bubble both of them, just increasing their survivability. Very, very fun to play. And again, they kind of go where is needed. So whether it's frontline pressure or backline protection, like these two work really well with each other because their kits complement each other just naturally. And Fantastic enables that. I mean, it gives them health, slows down threats. Then you take into consideration their actual team ups. If there's a Hulk, probably a Namor with a Gamma Squid, or a Gamma Iron Man. With Fantastic, he can get the extra shield from Sue. All that's just kind of added on top. They're both very hard to deal with and tanky, and just one of them's hard to take down. Both of them, it's a very tough time. And the last one, I want to talk about one of the deadliest pick cores in the game, Black Widow and Mantis. And this duo has one job, secure picks. And if they do that job, your team will always have the upper hand. It's that simple. Earlier in the video, I went over Mantis, but let's talk about Black Widow, because a lot of players call her a throw pick. Personally, the more I play with her, the more I disagree. If you're landing your shots, doing what you need to do, she's incredibly valuable. It's high risk, high reward. And like many of the duos that we've covered, once this one starts shutting people down, enemies try to counter it. They even try to match it because it's working so well. Like they'll go Mantis Black Widow or Hulk Fantastic. With all of these duos, I've had the enemies do that, try to match. Black Widow has the highest hit scan damage in the game. That means no projectiles, no travel time, point and click, the shot lands. Her base rifle damage is 120, a headshot's 240. You now add in the Mantis 12% damage buff, the body shot becomes 134.4, and the headshot becomes 268.8. Also note, both of these heroes recently got buffed, and both of these buffs matter with what they're trying to do. Mantis can now throw 2 leaves, giving Widow 16 seconds of boosted damage. So Mantis's job here is to throw the 2 leaves, let Widow go do her thing. And the goal is to keep her fed with the damage boost. Now Black Widow, she got a buff to her kick and grapple, which is a whole different thing, and it makes her a lot better. And I'll go over that in a future guide for Black Widow. But when we start getting into value, Black Widow can one-shot any hero with 250 HP or less when she has this Mantis buff. Rocket, Cloak and Dagger, Adam Warlock, Loki, Mantis, Jeff, and more. Problematic DPS, Scarlet Witch, Moon Knight, Hela, Iron Man, Human Torch. About half the roster, if not over half the roster. And any 275 health heroes like Luna or Invisible Woman, if they've taken any chip damage, they're gone too. Again, Mantis' job is simple. Keep Widow fed, use the full buff, 16 seconds, 2 leaves, and let her hunt. And Widow, you gotta land those shots. You're looking through the front line and the back line. You're creating off angles if you can. You're trying to remove their supports and shut down healing, because one clean shot changes the fight. It's very powerful. And 268.8 with this Mantis buff just is no joke for damage, so even going for tanks is okay. Midline heroes are going to be in danger. As Widow, when you get that damage buff, you just take all the shots that you can. And crazy things that can happen when they land. Things that couldn't happen before. Like right here, a Cloak and Dagger uses their ultimate to try to push up the payload, but she makes the mistake of jumping. Well, she's not touching her ultimate anymore, and while in the air, I get off a headshot. Downs her, takes her out of her ult, their ult's gone. Now, if you really want to get crazy with it, you're going to add in Storm. It'd be Storm, Black Widow, and Mantis. If Widow gets inside the aura of Storm and gets that Mantis leaf, her headshot goes to 295. That lets her one-shot Luna Snow, Invisible Woman, or 275 health targets. And if you want to get even wilder than that, give those buffs to Hawkeye. Because Hawkeye, in Storm's aura, with a Mantis leaf, a fully drawn body shot is 212 damage. But his headshot is 425, and that 2-shots anything in the game. It's either going to 2-shot a Vanguard, or it will 1-shot anything else. But hey, maybe that's a video for another day. All of these, what I call unofficial team-ups, have something in common. They form a powerful core that helps your team win fights in their own certain way, because each duo has a job. Mantis and Widow, they're a focused pick engine that deletes key targets. Mantis and Storm, it's team-wide damage boost that creates a lot of raw damage. Magneto and Iron Fist, coordinated frontline pick pressure, or the same with Thing and Iron Fist, just coordinated pressure. Groot and Peni, a defensive nightmare that holds space. Hulk and Mr. Fantastic, it's a mobile dive core that can protect and punish. I've had a ton of fun experimenting with these combos, and honestly, a lot of them feel like real team-ups with how well they flow. And like I mentioned earlier, actual team-ups come into play too. Like if you play Hulk and Fantastic, comes even better with Namor in there. Mantis can have Adam Warlock and then a Star-Lord for the Cocoon. A lot of fun and very powerful, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. And also, what are some duos that have a lot of synergy but don't have an actual team up? Let's talk about them, and maybe I can make another video like this with your suggestions in the future. Next is going to be an in-depth Mantis guide. I really appreciate you guys hanging out today. Thank you for watching, and until the next one, I am CoolGuy.